Welcome back, everybody. Another edition of Back to the Basics. We're super excited that you took time to jump on, whether you're on YouTube or podcast. Either way, first thing I want to get out of the way, make sure you subscribe. If it's YouTube, don't just hit subscribe. That's for some reason means nothing. You have to hit the notification bell, and so that way you'll be notified when we show up and everything. And so share us out there, like us, comment, all that stuff. That keeps us going. Also, in the comments, if you want to give us some suggestions of stuff we want to cover. Last week we hit some hard-hitting stuff, right? And so
it's life, baby. It's life.
And
life's hard-hitting.
And like we said last week, we don't. If you don't agree with us and you got ideas, and it's like, hey, we're open. Well, we have that open mind to listen. But I'll tell you one thing that we do hold as our standard is this book right here too. That's what's going to have to be some convincing behind. But we will listen, right? That's what we do. We open up and listen. But Hindu, brother, did you have a good week?
Man, I had a good week. It's busy, super busy. Just trying to make sure that I'm taking care of mind, body, and soul. So it's not just a grind. Like you hear people talking all the time that I'm just a grinder. I'm just getting after it. But they let their health go. They let their family go. They let their they let their relationship with, the God that they believe in go. And I believe if we're just diligent with our time, if we make room for what matters the most, if we keep the priority, and let's be clear, with our belief system, it's, God's first, our family comes second, and then our work comes third. Outside of that, that's it. Like everything falls within those three. Well, what if I like to, binge watch, Netflix? I'm not telling you not to enjoy things, but
that's
like
way after those three.
It's not important. Like, I mean, realistically, like I love the show Yellowstone. Like I love it. Like it's awesome. Like I
gotta check it out now.
Oh, dude, it's unreal. But like at the end of the day, like, I'm not letting that become a priority in my life. What's a priority in my life is, my relationship with my wife. It's the relationship with my God. It's the relationship that I've got with my kids. It's the work that I'm doing. Am I doing work that matters? Am I making a difference in people's life? And I believe that the answer to those questions is yes on all fronts. So,
and we know,
that's good, man.
It's real easy for Satan to find those weaknesses and seep in. Just like the mustard seed of faith and doubt, it's going to be just as stronger. It may be stronger, and we're all victim to that. Like I missed out on my health. I gained a lot of weight when building through a business and focusing on that they wasn't paying attention to what I was eating. And so, and now I'm older because I used to when I was younger. I could say, let's play ball, drink water,
and be gone. Yeah.
And then you hit 40, it's like, nah.
42 was eye-opening for me. 40 wasn't bad. 42, it really, I realized then I can't just like drop it. Like I'm on several months now getting back into a routine, and I'm just now to the point to where I feel normal again. Just now. And it's a couple months. Like, I mean, I'm talking about, people go, oh, well, you go out and you run and you did yeah, but dude, I struggle, man. I feel like I'm about to die. I just push through because
and everybody wants to quit, and no matter how. I'm sure we know Brittany and Travis Just, what they basically do for a living is bodybuilding. But there's times that they're like, nah, I want to eat that cheeseburger or something like that. So
I think everything in moderation is good too. I mean, I'm not taking away from eating a cheeseburger. But at the same time, if you eat a cheeseburger every day, 3 times a day, then you're going to die.
I'll tell you this about my birthday was March 8th, a couple weeks ago, and for part of that birthday, I got Blackstone, the grill.
Dude, you've been shuffling it up, homie.
Goodness, it's hard.
Dude, like you're doing that, like you're doing everything on it. Like every time I look around, I'm like, yeah, man, Trey better work out like 3 times a day.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna lie, I look at that going, brother. Like, I know it's good, don't get me wrong. Like, I won't come eat, but...
We were watching a show with Lane last night, I think it was, and the guy on there, he's always eating healthy. It's Rob Lowe. It's from that TV show, Parks and Rec. And remember Rob Lowe from back in the day?
Dude, is that like Rob Bass?
No. Rob Lowe. No, Rob Bass.
I'm from Blue Ridge. We're in my barn right now.
Rob
I know who Rob Bass is.
Rob Lowe was like this pop guy. He's but anyway, he's comedian more now, and but in the show he's a health freak, and then. He had it's Christmas. It was a Christmas special or something, and he drinks eggnog. And the guy right drinking, he said, "Before I tell you anything, because he's like, this is so good." He said, "He goes, that's not low fat or no fat one." And he goes, "This has fat." He said, "Before you freak out, I want you to calm down." And then he goes, "You know what? I'm just going to go for it, enjoy it." And he kept drinking the eggnog. He goes, "Why does everything with fat taste so much better?"
So much better.
Yes.
It does. Like, I mean, if
And we
you,
in the South, we throw it on.
dude, if you got something that doesn't taste good, just smother it in butter and deep fry it. It's gonna be
It's
good.
gonna taste good.
I mean, there was a time in my life where, if honest to goodness, if it wasn't deep fried, smothered in milk gravy, I didn't want to eat it.
Yeah.
And I love stuff like that.
My mouth water. It is hard, and like I said, for me, that's especially sweets a weakness for me, and it's easy to get off, like you were mentioning there. But like I kind of got off topic here what we got today.
Well,
but,
I mean, no, it's not. It's not off topic. We're actually right on topic. We're just going to do. We're just starting out in a different way. So we've got about 4 minutes in this segment. We want to make sure that we're respecting people's times. I think as we grow. And as our following grows, we'll probably spend more time on subjects, but we want to make sure that we're bringing ample amount of value for the time that you're giving us, because we realize you're busy. You're not sitting at home, sitting on the couch, eating Dum-Dums, eating Twinkies. You know what I'm saying? You're the ones that are hustling.
Driving and hustling somewhere. Yeah.
You're probably doing, listening to this in between a meeting. You're probably doing this, watching this, on YouTube at the gym, while you're on the treadmill or something like that. We understand that you're getting after it, so we want to make sure that we're bringing ample value to what you guys are doing. So let's jump right in the Word, because it is the Back to the Basics podcast, and this is the basics. The Word is coming from Isaiah 59 today. Isaiah 59, going to be reading from the New King James Version. The reason why I'm going to be reading from the New King James Version is because the Passion Translation does not have the book of Isaiah yet. Otherwise, I would be reading from the Passion Translation. But I'm in New King James, going to start at verse 19. I'm actually going to only read the verse 19 today. So, shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun? When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against him. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this today, and Trey and I, we've been back and forth about topics, and we got a whole laundry list of stuff that we want to cover and go over. And I said, man, I got something that I really want to talk about, because we're going to touch our stance on 2A, political stance on 2A. We're going to touch on the biblical part of 2A. We're going to touch on everything. Yeah, for this Second Amendment, we're big Second Amendment people. We believe in the Second Amendment. It's biblical. Anyway. And I was like, dude, I just really feel like the world that we live in right now, we got to understand that the reason why people are so easily moved left and right is because they have no standard from what they believe. So I agree that you can believe anything that you want to believe. I'm going to agree with you that if you... I can't even bring myself to say that, because I don't agree with it, right? But if you want your 8-year-old little boy to change his name to a her and be called whatever, that's up to you. I can't agree with that, but that's up to you, right? You can do that. But my question to you is what's your standard? What makes that okay? Like, where is your belief system? What makes that okay? Because, see, I believe what you do in your bedroom is up to you. I don't believe it's any of my business. Now, if you start shoving that crap down my throat, that's a different story. But whatever you want to do is completely up to you. Like, we both have our siblings that are homosexuals. Like, okay, yeah, see, I told you we're going to be real transparent and honest. Like, there's nothing that we can do about that. We don't agree with that whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I don't have a relationship with mine because of that, and it's not on my end. It's not because of me, right? But like Trey's sister, I love her. I love her. Do I agree with her? Absolutely not. But I love her. The Bible says that I have to love her. And I love her. I love her. I love her without having to love her. But my thing is what's your standard? Like, what makes it okay? Here's my standard. This is my standard. When I'm being a butt to my wife, because it happens, dude, it's something about me that brings me back to here and corrects me, because I'm not supposed to do that. So what is your standard?
While you think about that, we'll go to a quick break. Come right back.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the...
What's up, Hindu?
What up?
Man, we talk about this all the time, how busy we are, and in a good way, a grinder, a hustler, and after it all the time. And so time is money. And one thing you want to have also, that decent, clean home is going to keep your mind straight too. And so we reach out and we use Best Little Housekeepers in town in Greer, South Carolina, for our cleaning needs, to get that stress off of us. The ladies do an amazing job, and allow you to focus on things you need to focus on, and come home to a nice, clean smelling house, brother.
That's what I like. I like a clean house. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yes.
Absolutely. Reach out to those guys. We appreciate them and their support on our podcast. If you would like to support our podcast, please reach out to either Trey or myself.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the...
All right, Hindu.
We're back.
Our standard, the rock, the foundation. Now, you're building a house right up here. It's
Yep.
a barn. It's amazing. We have to do a little video walkthrough one.
We're actually,
podcast
before
summer.
long, we'll do the podcast in the
In there.
barn.
Oh, yeah, that's where it's eventually going to be.
We got a little barn right here, but
So, and there we'll have heat. And so, but,
and we better have some heat up in here too. So it's all good.
yeah, I know.
I got a
it's
wood
hot.
pile. I got a wood pile.
Yes,
Yeah, I got a stove.
He worked to tell on that, but the fact that we're talking about the foundation of that. Now this one you're building up on the hill. Like, imagine if you didn't have that rock, the foundation for the house. What's going to happen in that nice, beautiful house?
This is going to crumble, man.
Crumble.
This is going to fall down. The wind's going to blow, and it's going to fall down. Like, that's what people don't realize is the wind. The wind's going to blow on us all. It's the setting of the sail that determines the direction that we go. Like, who's that? Like Earl Nightingale, somebody like that.
I think so,
Somebody like that. Like, I love personal growth and development. And there was a time that I didn't get outside of the word personal growth and development, because everything in my world, everything in my belief system comes from the Bible. If you look at any personal growth and development book, people might call it, they might say the word the universe or a generic God, something like that. But if you look, all of the principles come directly from the Bible. That is my standard. That doesn't mean that I'm perfect, because I'm not, right? That doesn't mean that we're not sitting up here trying to say, we do everything completely right, because there's nothing further from the truth. As a matter of fact, if you go to my standard, it will tell you that there are no perfect people in the world, that there was a perfect God who came and took on flesh and was perfect in the flesh, that allows us to have remission for our sins. So there's only one standard, in my opinion, and it comes from the Bible. But there was a time where I didn't look to other personal growth and development stuff, but I do now, and I'm on stuff. I do listen to other podcasts and that sort of thing, because it is a great avenue to be able to meet people, a great medium to be able to meet people.
Well, you look at
and to connect.
Business is networking, right?
That's all business is networking.
Best networker ever, whether you're a believer or not. Best networker ever, Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
Went from what somebody would call nobody in his time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he was born in a barn.
Exactly. Yeah, hotel didn't have room for him, right? Yeah. And so, but to now where it's now, I know that I could say there's 4.3 billion Christians or whatever the number is around the world, and we know that some of those probably aren't really following Christian standards.
Well,
but his name is networked out.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that, though. You bring up a good subject. Is people go, well, I'm not a Christian because of all the hypocrites. Well, that's kind of like saying, you don't want to get in shape because there's fat people. Like it's not even relevant. Like, I mean, that's what I just mentioned it on our Higher Impact Leadership call that we do every Wednesday at 11 a.m.
But you guys, as part of this, it's back to the basic podcast.com. Wednesday mornings, 11 Eastern. Jump on. We go over these things. Some of the stuff we're talking about now, we actually fed off of what the earlier today on the podcast. I mean, on the call too. So,
Yeah, I knew it was going to feed off of it. You know, it's two different scriptures, that sort of thing, but it's basically the same stuff because it's where our heart's at right now. You know, you got to be rooted, planted, and grounded in your belief system. And I believe that we live in a world that, you know, they just want to go whichever way the wind blows you. And if you're, like you said, if your house isn't built on a solid foundation, then it's going to crumble with the wind. So you got to make sure that you got to have that. I'm not saying you got to be perfect, but to be great, you got to start, right? I mean, like, you can never be great unless you, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time, right? So you don't have to know everything. It's just the little things. And it's what standard are you going back to where you form the opinion that you rightfully can have. You can have whatever opinion that you want to have, but where do you get it from?
When you and I both were trained for Inc. 5000 company, we're blessed to speak to tons of people all over the world in itself. And one of my trainings was on the 4 beliefs. And it was a belief in yourself. Can I do this? Everybody has the self-doubt. I can't do this. You know, that's Satan talking to you. The next is to believe in the industry you're in. You know, whatever industry it is. For us, that was network marketing. And then the next belief was the belief in the company. And then the final 4th belief was the one that was the rock, the standard. The reason why I had it last because I was going like, this is what it builds down to. I says your belief in your faith. You know, faith that works is dead. We know that. You got to put in the work. And but if you don't have that faith, the whole entire thing's going to crumble, because faith in God lets you know that you can do it because He did it all for us.
Right.
And so you're powerful. You know, you're in made in His image, and so nothing can break you down. And so, so let me ask you this question. We know this is ours, right? This is our foundation. And people may, whatever, if you are a different religion and that's your belief, that's your foundation, you're going to be successful because you have that full belief. But what do you think it is that people that gear off of that, like what are their beliefs that's when they crumble, when they fall apart and things aren't working? What do you think happens to that foundation? Like, you think it's not a lack of foundation? Do you think it's the foundation?
It's because it's not. It's because it's on a weak foundation.
Like sand, you know.
And so what happens is then they play the poor pitiful me crying game. Oh, well, it didn't work out for me, and society doesn't work out for me, and you know, and then I was supposed to be given this, and you get the poor pitiful me. And like there again, if you take that back to my standard, you know what I believe is if you don't work, you don't eat.
Yeah.
The Bible says that you earn your living by the sweat of your brow. It's not that you give, you're giving everything to you by your government. Like people are relying on the government. Like it blows my mind. And I talked about this on the call today. Like if you want to wear a mask, freaking wear a mask. I'm good with that. But don't try to force your belief system on me. Like, I don't want to wear one, so I'm not going to wear one.
And I think that's what we've always been free thinkers. Living out in the country, you do have to rely off the stuff yourself so much more. And it creates that free thinking in that, you know, we see more of the far left liberal mind saying, well, you want to be controlled. And you hear, like, for abortion, my body, my choice, that's their defense. But then that doesn't apply in your mask wearing.
It's all hypocritical. It's a bunch of hypocrites.
But if he wants to wear a mask and I don't want to, we shouldn't be all over each other.
It's kind of like the vaccine. Here's my take on that. If there again you want to get the vaccine, get it. I'm good with that. Get it, right? You do it, man. My thing is if the government, and I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-people in the government. Here's what I'm anti. You ready? I'm anti-career politicians. You want to fix this crap? Term limits. Simple,
yes.
Easy. It's the be all, end all to be all, baby.
50 years
it fixes
everything.
Everything. Just eliminate career politicians, and you fix it all, man. Because what you have now is you got the government telling you to ingest this stuff, and shove it in your body, right? And we hadn't tested, but it's going to cure everything. Mm-hmm, yeah. If the government's telling you to do it, you probably shouldn't do it. And I know we shouldn't be like that. But they've got a proven track record of messing you up. It's proven. They can't balance a budget, why are you going to let them stick a chemical in your body?
What do they say the definition of insanity is?
Doing the same thing over and over and over again,
So-
expecting a different result.
One thing that just blew my mind was that people, and like I said, I'm not whoever you vote for, whatever. I'm not calling somebody a libtard. Don't somebody call them a white supremacist because.
Well, not that. But I call them lib, like
I'm saying,
I just
like,
went to Chapel Hill this weekend. Lib hard plan. Like it was a different world.
For me, like it's like
Sorry.
people will get offended because like, oh, well, you're a Trumper, you're this or whatever. My thing was a guy that was in the system, systemic racism. I believe it. If it's there, why would you vote for a guy that's been a part of that system for 49 years
It's
and hasn't done anything to change? Actually wrote laws that was worse for that helped the systemic racism.
It's because people are sheep.
Sheep.
It's like, oh well,
And they know it. They know it though. The elite know it.
it's like, oh well,
They
you're
know
a
you have
white,
no foundation. The
you're
foundation
a
is them.
white Christian male that lives in the South. You're Republican, and I'm like, no, I'm not Republican. I'm not.
We're
I'm
more
not-
libertarian, I guess, more than anything, but really we're independent. And so, thinkers.
I'm Christian. That's what I am. It's
I'm Jesus.
Yeah, I'm Jesus. It's like that's what I believe. I believe right's right and wrong's
Yep.
wrong. I believe here's the standard. Where are you getting your standard from? It's like, but the reason
good.
why people vote for that is because it's okay. All of that stuff's washed under the bridge because he believes that in stuff that quote unquote my people believe in, and it's just that they follow people just to follow people. It makes no sense.
Crazy. Well-
It's because they say one thing, but they're doing another. But because they say the one thing, instead of looking at what they're doing, they listen to what they're saying. That's why your action is way bigger than your talk, right? If you're gonna talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, right? And people don't really listen to that because they don't take the time because they're not rooted, planted, and grounded in their belief system. So they're just going to because they're just interested. We live in a narcissistic world.
Yeah, that's good. And let's elaborate more. We're going to take one more break and finish up with the last little section. So just hang tight.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the
All right, what's up, guys? Hey, real quick. Our sponsors, we're so thankful for them because they're the reason why we can bring you this content. If you're enjoying what you're getting, if you're getting value from that and you want to partner with us, please reach out to Trey or myself to be able to do that. This last segment is brought to you by Legacy Life Co. That is actually my company. What we do is we help people with their financial services, anything from learning how to make your money work for yourself to being able to cover and protect your family from anything that might be coming at you, because we know it's not a if but a when.
Yeah.
Things happen, and at Legacy Life Co, we're here to serve our clients, and so we make that a priority in everything that we do. Reach out to me, Jonathan, JONATHAN at Legacy Life Co, for all of that.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the
Welcome back, guys, to the Back to Basics podcast, final segment of the day. We talked about some stuff. We kind of went off the blueprint there for a little bit, and you'll find that about us because we'll chase a rabbit down a trail in a heartbeat.
I think each time it was going back to the foundation and what the foundation was.
It's still
like,
the foundation that we live in a world where people follow what other people say, not what actually people do. And so if you're following somebody, make sure that you're actually following somebody that's actually doing something, not just talking. Like, there's a lot of fake hustlers and grinders out there that have no standard. They don't really know what they believe. They go off of what they heard from somebody else, and that's why they believe it. The God that I serve, there's what you hear, right? And the way that I believe it is you don't hear with your ears, you hear with your heart, okay? And so the Bible says, actually that's biblical. The Bible says that the Spirit will speak to your heart. It didn't say that He'll speak to your ears and you'll hear it. It will speak to your heart. And then you'll have understanding from there. And it's an experience with the Creator. And so if you're not having any of those, like you just get to that one-on-one time, that alone time, carve out. I try to make it as simple as possible because, you know, like we live in a world where everybody's ADD, LMNOP. I've got all that kind of stuff too. But what I've had to do is I've had to carve out. You know, it started out with just, you know, just literally like a couple verses
Making
in the
yourself,
Bible,
yeah.
just making myself like read.
I love how you said earlier in our call we had, which by the way, you need to make sure y'all jump on that Wednesday mornings, that you used to not really, you had to force yourself to read the Bible. You just read it because you felt like, you know, I have to do this. To
Yeah.
now where the Bible that you read out of now, you just really enjoy. And so I think a lot of that's too also because you kept that firm foundation itself, that joy started just coming naturally too with it, God speaking to you. So, but and you know, so like
That's biblical, you know, not to jump in on which is it, but that's biblical. You know, the Bible basically, I'm going to paraphrase here from my good friend Darren Walker. If you take one step, he'll take two. If you take two, he'll take five. If you take five, he'll take 10. Right? And that's what it is. You just got to be disciplined enough to just move in the right direction. If you start moving in the right direction, he'll move closer to you. If you move closer to him, the Bible says if you draw nigh to him, that he'll draw nigh to you, right? So I didn't want to cut you off, but what you were saying was just 100% biblical, and it's truth, man.
Well, so that's kind of going back. I mentioned this on the call this morning too. Is that I made a post, and now I hope these run together. I hope I didn't say this already on this one. It was on the call, but you know, my post was one day. It was about right after the election, and about that wasn't on this podcast, right? It was on the call. Wasn't it? So hey, so anybody can do this, right? So. That if the secular world is celebrating something and I'm not, then I know I'm on the right side. And
it goes back to if the government's telling you you should do it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but the government does not have your best interest at hand.
They got their own pockets and stuff. They want to stay in the wealthy. They want to stay the elite. And so, but and it goes into on the way here.
The ones that are running it now, like they got into politics to become wealthy.
Correct. Yes. Oh, yeah. Which you're a public servant. If you're a servant, you shouldn't be getting wealthy. You're serving others. How Jesus served others? How wealthy did he get? You know. So, but
hold up now. We business folks, okay? I ain't got no problem with making that money.
Wealthy, no, yes.
I ain't got no problem with making that money, right? Broke people can't help nobody.
But those that truly serve others.
This is a different time, different day. He was rich, but it's completely different from,
Well, I mean, like if you truly serve others, you will get rewards along the way too, and it'll be financial. If you help others succeed, you will too. But like, what is the government doing to help us succeed? You know, for me personally, my gas prices have gone up from yesterday when the girls of the crew they texted me, they said, "Hey, $48.50 for gas today." It was $24 to $27. You know, they're going to tax the 30% tax rates coming for everybody, 60% for small business owners. That's coming. It's crushing, and so it's only helping the wealthy elite. And so, kind of going back to foundation. I don't watch TV really anymore or anything. Like I might watch some shows like Netflix, whatever, with my wife, and but the stupid Grammys, like that stuff, just so. There's a lady named Cardi B. I don't know if you heard about the story.
That wasn't very good. Like I saw some meme and it had like the two skunks. It's like growing up where we watched Saturday morning cartoons.
He got canceled.
But yet you got Cardi B talking about WAP and all that other stuff and going at each other on stage. But that's okay.
And then Candace Owens, who called that out, and her foundation is this. Candace Owens, if you don't know her, look her up too. She's a Christian, and she just said. She's a black lady, and Cardi B's a black lady. She said, how's that representing the black culture? That's what is that a positive output that's into the world? And so, obviously looking at the foundation there, that's something that's going to crumble. One day, Cardi B won't have the fake body, whatever she's created. She won't have the celebrity fans, and that part's going to go away completely. And we know it's all going to go away eventually. You can't take that to heaven with her, And so, it's just for me personally, this is what it's got to go back to. Anytime I make that decision or whatever, I have to look back and say, okay, what are my true foundations here? That's going to help me be successful and make the right choices.
What's your standard? What's the plumb line? So like when you're building something, you got a plumb line, and off that plumb line is where it's the cornerstone, right?
That's good.
If you don't start with a true square cornerstone, everything else is going to be off. And so what are you deciding is your cornerstone, is your plumb line, is your standard. What is your standard? What are the people that you're listening to? What are the people that you're following? What is their standard? Are you allowing voices into your life? Are you allowing voices into your business? Are you allowing voices into your family that do not have the same standard that you do? If you do, I just challenge you. I challenge you to figure out if that's right or wrong, right? Because we live in a world where people are trying to push standards on us that they don't have any recollection, any resemblance to the standard that we believe in.
That's a perfect way to end this, buddy. Been a great one. We'll see you next week. Be ready. Jump on the call, guys. Jump on this call. Back to basicpodcast.com. Password is B2B, capital B's. Every
Just put it in
Wednesday
show
morning.
notes.
Yeah, we'll
Just
put it in show
put it in
notes
show
too,
notes,
and all
yeah.
that too. So we'll see you again next week, guys.
Later.
Here comes the ready or not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the